What is something you would like to do but society has labeled as unacceptable? Serious NSFW. My manager is wonderful on this. If a disgruntled customer starts verbally abusing us on a personal level, we have the right to stop being polite and start being pissy as a bouncer at NYC club. Then, we refuse them service unless they change their attitude. One guy made a customer cry when he started watching Netflix on his phone to ignore her after she yelled at him. Euthanasia. As a nurse, I've watched people die long, slow, painful deaths that benefited no one and only prolonged their suffering. The most recent one finally passed away last night. It was so heartbreaking knowing that I had the means to end her suffering with a single tiny needle, but if I did, I'd go to jail.
Hey guys, much like you, I love reading people's stories on Ask Reddit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of weird middle school level, just thought experiment type hypotheticals like nice try Baskin Robbins. I don't find this compelling, so that's why I've made it my mission to trawl and crawl through Ask Reddit and find the very best content and put it in your ears. That's why I'm begging you, like and subscribe. If there's anything I can do to help you out, give you the kind of content that you crave to help you get through your workday, let me know in a comment. But please, like and subscribe.
Nothing. I really wish that I could do nothing. I would learn what I want to learn, follow my nose, explore and experience the world at my own pace without fear of not having food or shelter. Holy shit, people. There are way too many of you implying that I think I'm entitled to live for free while the rest of the world works for me, just so I can be a lazy sack of shit for the rest of my life. You are so zealous about attacking even a notion that hints at communist elements, even in a hypothetical thread on Reddit, that it's actually a bit alarming. I'm going to assume the numerous comments describing my comment as dangerous are actually secret, government robots designed to scour the internet looking for opportunities to decry communism. Because the alternative, that people are really this fucking stupid, is too scary hard to believe. Any game where you have the option to run or walk, why the hell are you walking? It's slow and pointless. Real life, why are you running? Why are you in such a hurry? Lesson: time spent in video games is precious and important, not to be wasted with petty travel time. Real life is less important, so it's fine to waste time. Live anywhere I want. It's weird to think about on a macro level. We are animals on a big rock. But parts of that rock are owned by large groups of animals. If you want to live there, you have to pay that group of animals. There is no livable area that you don't have to pay to live. When put so generally, it makes no sense to me. It is less about I want to go live away from society and support myself kind of an issue. As Coolshoes said, it's more of an issue that if I wanted to get up, gather my belongings and move to Europe today, I couldn't. My country would have a problem with it. The country I moved to would have a problem with it. I was unwillingly born at a certain location in the world, and in order to move that location, I have to pay fees, go through waiting periods, get work and sponsors, get approved by a committee, etc. All of this to simply exist somewhere else in the world. Robbing a bank is very easy. Just go in and tell the teller to hand over the money, don't forget the second drawer, not to hit any alarms, and no bait money. The tellers are told to just do exactly what, and only what, the robber tells them to get them out as quickly as possible, so nobody gets hurt. The trick is not to get caught. Want to know how not to get caught? Rob a bank as far away from home as possible, so several hundred miles. Rob it on a Friday afternoon before a holiday weekend like Christmas, and make sure the bank is close to somewhere a business hands out bonus checks. This will net you around $10,000 per teller you rob. Wear a nondescript hoodie, hat and sunglasses. Be in and out fast, and don't park too close to the bank. Now for getaways, some people like banks near highways, but you can just as easily get away by hopping on some random back roads. Do all of this, and never do it again. Most bank robbers are caught because they get away with it once, and keep going back for more. This pisses the FBI off and they will find you and catch you, sometimes because some kids stumble onto something they shouldn't have. Thanks to whoever supported Reddit because they liked my comment. Fuck society, I go to the movies alone all the time. I don't know when it clicked, but I realized that when you go to the movies, you talk to your movie buddy before and after, but not during. So why go with someone if it means you can't be social? Now, I prefer to go to the movies alone. I can freely react to the film without a second thought of what the other person thinks. I'm a 28-year-old big black guy with tattoos and facial piercings, and I cried 3 times during Les Miserables. It was nice not having to think about what someone else would think. I absolutely agree with you guys that good friends won't laugh or mock someone for crying. By no means do I think my friends would. But, I guess, I don't want to have to think about anything outside of what's happening on screen. I want to be fully immersed in the world of the film. This is also why I go to the movies early Sunday mornings, no one is there. With Les Miserables, I was free to cry without a second thought. I've seen the musical 3 times and I knew Hathaway's performance was going to be brutal. But it's more than that. I don't want to recommend a film and worry about whether the other person is enjoying it. And since people know I have a huge love for film, I don't want them focusing on my reactions during the film either, because I notice them looking over at me and it also takes me out of the movie. Going alone makes it about me and the movie. Hope that clarifies it a bit. I'd love to be able to say what I really want to say to people without worrying about hurting their feelings or having to worry about repercussions. Do you want to go out on Friday night? No, thank you, I don't want to. Would be much easier than having to lie about doing something else or doing a no-show. The above was only one poor example. I get that being honest can work in that situation. There are times though when I'd love to just say no, you look hideous in that dress, etc. I just can't think of a good example anymore. Serious, run around naked in public. Flying through the streets, privates flapping freely in the cool air. I've just always wanted to, yet it will surely meet an arrest incarceration. Public high fives screams. Till, Portland, land of the naked. This glorious place has earned a special place in my heart. TL, DR, if you're gonna be naked in San Fran or Portland. May your privates flap free eternally, my fellow naked enthusiasts. I'm a 29-year-old guy. I would love to be able to wear makeup to cover up acne. Not like all pretty and done up, but just to make my face not look like it belongs to a teenager. Wow. I was at work and just checked back in. Thank you all so much for your support and advice. I'm sorry I can't respond to everyone, but thank you all. This is what I've been doing to all the replies. I had pretty bad acne when I was young. Doctors put me on all kinds of meds and I changed my diet with little to no results. Then, out of nowhere, it got much better. I was about 20. I still have some bad flare-ups from time to time. I appreciate all of the very helpful advice. Some views are conflicting, but I have a lot of information that I can use to my advantage. Thanks, all. For all of those suggesting Accutane, it was prescribed to me when I was a teen and my acne actually got worse, so we stopped that treatment. Thank you for your advice though. I was on Accutane for almost a year and my dermatologist suggested I get off of it because of the damage to my face. Sorry for all the edits.
If there's ever a fly, or a mosquito, or like a yellow jacket, or some weird unknown insect in my house, my wife will not leave me alone until it is dead, and she will blame me personally for having a house that an insect entered. The only way that I'm able to buy peace for myself so that I can work on this YouTube channel that you enjoy is by using an electric fly swatter with an affiliate link in the description. The way this fly swatter works is that you hold down the little button and then you whack the fly as if it were a tennis ball and it looks like a tennis racket. And what the electricity does is it stuns the insect or kills it so that you can clean it up easily. And the fact that it's a tennis racket gives you a much better chance of actually hitting the insect. And I found it invaluable, and I hope that you will decide to also use it in your home. And, if you're like a teenage boy, you can also whack other teenage boys with it. We used to do that in the Boy Scouts.
Do nothing but satisfy my personal creative desires. I just want to write and create. I want to podcast and make things all day. I want to have no direction and try a bunch of different endeavors. I want to be passionately unfocused and working on music, writing, performing, brewing beer, comedy, and a million other things all at once. Society is not kind to that sort of behavior and punishes you with poverty and judgment. Let's not forget the question here, people. GT, something you would like to do but society has labeled as unacceptable. I am not delusional, nor am I saying I don't get it. I am saying it is unacceptable. Pointing that out is only proving my point. Yeah, I've been wanting to get hold or 2 or 3 doses of LSD for a couple of years, but I don't run in those sorts of circles and no idea how to go about it. I also would like to vaporize marijuana instead of drinking. Again, though, I would have difficulty getting hold of it on a regular basis. I'm a straight man and I want to get a pedicure because I think it would be relaxing. I had this idea when I had to get my hair shampooed before a haircut a while back. I had been wearing a hat, so the person who cut it told me I'd need a quick wash. Shit was luxurious. I can only imagine how that feeling would be on my feet. If everyone ran all the time, society would have been structured around it. People would be more fit and nimble as to avoid collisions. Shelves would have lips on them to prevent the clumsy from just knocking things off. Underground crosswalks would exist to not have to interrupt the flow of running pedestrians. We'd adjust. Also possibly relevant, running IRL takes actual physical effort. PSA: the following joke has been made 34 times in response to this comment so far. GT: hey man, my finger really gets a workout pressing that X button. Ha 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 Huawei. To all of you, and any brave Redditors thinking of joining your ranks, I say, in the immortal words of Alex Trebek, I see IT. Go back to your podium. It's not funny. What's going on? This is what I do too. Funny story, last summer I was selling beer in a rock festival, and as I was walking through the crowd, I was holding my tray above my head and some huge douche bodybuilder laughed out loud and said to his friends, "Look. This guy has trimmed armpits." So I stopped, took a good look at him and said, "Ha ha ha," says the guy with the waxed chest. Asshole. Grammar and typos. So far my highest comment. 24. Use the word fuck liberally in all company. It's just too handy of a word to be relegated to behind closed doors or select company. Fuck that. To clarify, since this is a common response, it is not my desire to overuse the word fuck or to forsake the rest of my ample vocabulary in favor of it. I simply do not care to restrict when or where I use it based on some unreasonable perception of it being a bad word. I find the entire concept of bad words to be asinine. I'd like to be free to enjoy alcohol without a constant social stigma. Might be only relevant to a part of Europe I live at, but I often experience very specific gender discrimination related to what behavior is allowed to a certain gender. Here, drinking somehow is a masculine trait, and there are even very common sentences roughly translated to only a sober girl is beautiful. Men are almost encouraged to drink heavily from a young age, but whenever I have felt like enjoy 2 to 6 drinks at night, it seems I have to apologize to everyone around me and even to society itself. Don't get me wrong, I do not condone getting blind out drunk, which might resolve in violence, crimes and just general unpleasantries. I am talking about reasonable adult recreational enjoyment. It seems really unfair that some people are just allowed more because of their chromosomes. And, on the other hand, this kind of "you're not a real man if you don't drink" is harmful to men as well. If we could just be respectful towards each other and each other's habits, we'd all be much happier. If I hear you'll change your mind when you're older, dear, one more fucking time. Why do other people get to know what I would want to do regarding the biggest decision I will ever have to make? Before you say "yeah but you will" or anything about my bloodline, take a second to scroll and see if 45 people already have. Fart like a normal human being whenever and wherever and not worry about having to hold it in for hours before releasing the wind of the nether. Seriously, I break a sweat sometimes. I don't even fart much. I'm not proud of this post, but it's the most upvotes I've ever gotten.
I turned 36 this year, and I decided to focus on my physical fitness, so I bought a swim club membership. The only problem was, most of the time when I go swimming, I wind up getting an ear infection. So, it turns out that normal earplugs, they kind of irritate your ear canal, they don't really work, they don't keep the water out, but there is an amazing kind of earplug. It's called Mack's Pillow Soft Silicone earplugs that, they feel great, they keep the water out 100%, they're reusable, and they don't irritate your ear canal at all, no issues. If you've ever had a severe ear infection, you don't want to experience that again. It can permanently damage your hearing if you're unlucky. So, investing in these earplugs is definitely a good idea. Also, when my baby was crying later this year and I could not get to sleep, I used the same earplugs and they worked great. I was able to sleep right next to a crying baby. So be sure to click my affiliate link and purchase some of these Mack's earplugs today.
Anyone against voluntary euthanasia has never listened to someone scream for hours while dying already or had families plead for you to do something to make it painless and easy. I love docs that work with hospice. I'll call and get orders for huge amounts of morphine and Ativan Q 15 minutes and orders to remove O2. Nice easy float out due to resp depression with no pain or anxiety. It just sucks when that combo has no effect and we can't use something more effective. Breaks my heart to have a patient beg me to kill them when they are already CTD and it would make no difference. As someone whose stepmother literally does not discipline her 2 brats, sadly, my half-siblings, you're my hero. I am not allowed to discipline them, or even tell them not to do something, myself. They're ages 7 and 3. I've worked with children in the past, and these kids are unnaturally hyper, likely severe ADHD. She refuses to acknowledge that her children could possibly be obnoxious. Customers are always right. It's just that some people don't realize how easy it is for me to decide we no longer consider you a customer. And I don't want people wasting my employees' time, energy, or sanity if they aren't customers. Imaginary dream boss. I wish, when I have that one annoying booger that won't come out no matter how hard I blow into a tissue, I could just freely pick my nose, instead of having to hide it or be discreet. Everyone picks their nose, and everyone knows it. If I have that one stubborn booger up in there, it drives me batshit insane, until I can get it out. Like having an itch that you just have to scratch. There's bound to be those handful of folks that claim they don't pick their nose. We're all proud of how civilized you are, now go fuck yourself. My manager is wonderful on this. If a disgruntled customer starts verbally abusing us on a personal level, we have the right to stop being polite and start being pissy as a bouncer at NYC Club. Then, we refuse them service unless they change their attitude. One guy made a customer cry when he started watching Netflix on his phone to ignore her after she yelled at him.
Do you have any idea how convenient it is to use a Keurig machine for brewing coffee or tea? Personally, I gave up coffee a long time ago, but I was able to get a great, delicious cup of coffee in just seconds with no cleanup, no extra work using a Keurig machine and a K-cup. And now I use my Keurig machine to brew tea, loose leaf tea, every day that I drink. And I also use it to make oatmeal and, anything else that you can put hot water into. So if you don't have a Keurig machine in your house, you're missing out. Try my affiliate link below in the description of the video, and you too can enjoy a great cup of coffee in seconds any time of day.